Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, the host of the Ken Coleman Show, author of the #1 best-selling book From Paycheck to Purpose, is my co-host today. So we definitely can handle your career, job, and work questions, along with anything else you want to throw at us. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Thanks for being there. We're going to start this hour with William in St. Louis. Hi, William. How are you?
Doing good, Dave. Hi, Ken.
How are you?
Doing good.
What's up? How can we help?
Yes, I just have a question. I'm 30 years old. I graduated with my degree in computer science. I currently work in a trade right now doing foundation repair. And I'm thinking of pursuing a career in the military, but not quite sure if it's what I should be doing. I feel as though I don't have much of an opportunity of growth using either of the skills that I've learned, or would like to do them long term.
Okay, so we have two different factors there. So first, I don't feel like I have opportunity for growth. With a computer science degree, that couldn't be further from the truth. Technology is the #1 industry where we stand today, and going forward will continue to be so. So the sky's the limit on technology. Now, in the trades, I would say that's incorrect in the trades as well, but in your particular role as foundation repair, maybe that's true. So that's one narrative problem. The second thing you brought up is, I don't know if I want to do them long term. Now that's what we need to be paying attention to. So is the military just another option, or is it something that you've always longed to do? You're a patriot, you want to serve our country in a specific way, or is it just another option that maybe I'll kick the tires on because I don't want to do computer and technology work and I don't want to be in the trades? What is it?
I've always had the drive to do so since my senior year of high school and even through college. But now that I've been a working professional for this long, I feel like I can't get the opportunity with my foot in the door to use my computer degree. And like I say, doing trades, it's fun, but I'm not given many benefits, or any benefits at all.
Okay, well, let's
If
pause.
I offered you a job making $150,000 in computer science, would you have joy?
I'm not sure complete joy, but I mean, it wouldn't hurt either.
Well, I mean, why not complete joy?
Honestly, money's not really a motivator for me.
So back to the military thing. I thought I heard you say that you've always wanted to serve in the military since high school. Did I hear you correctly?
That's correct.
Okay, then. Why? What's behind that?
I haven't had much goal or general direction in what I want to do, so I just kind of fall on, whatever seems easier.
Okay, that's not a good answer to I've always wanted to be in the military. It's completely opposite. So what you have to understand is that there are things that you do well. Those are your talents. And then there's things that you really enjoy doing. And to this point in your life, I think you know what those are. So if I interviewed everybody that knows you, William, what would they say are the top 2 or 3 things you do well? And we're talking about a skill set. Could be a hard skill or a soft skill. What would they say?
I'm not quite sure. I don't have that many talents.
All right, now we know what's going on. So here's where we're at, William. So I'm going to give you a couple of tools that will allow you to dive into this, not under the pressure of being live on the air, okay? I'll tell you about those in a minute, but here's what's going on. Something has happened to you. Something has been said to you to where you don't believe that you have anything to offer. You don't think you have any talents. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So what we got to do is we got to get you to a place where you begin to see, wait a second, I have something that I can do well. It's come easy for me. People have complimented me on this. And if I'm able to get through the pain and through the past and see that, then I can begin to realize, oh, I have something that I can do well. And when we get the clues to that, there will be things that we enjoy closely aligned, if not the same thing. So stay on the line. And I want to do a couple of things. I want to give you the Get Clear Career Assessment. And this is a wonderful little tool of self-awareness. I want you to take it. And then I want you to read the book From Paycheck to Purpose. Then I want to schedule a call. Austin, let's schedule to have him call in on my show after he's done both of those things. And we'll work through what we now see. And Dave, our friend John Deloney deals with this a lot too. when someone feels as though they have no worth, they don't feel they're worthy. And then they have a hard time even identifying, I can do this well. This is a type of work that I can do and contribute to the world. And that's what's going on with him.
Yeah, and then you fall backwards.
That's correct. You just start selecting things. Oh, I'll try
default.
This. Right.
Well, I mean, you just like take the path of least resistance. It's like, I can't screw that up.
Right. I'll go to the military and they'll tell me what to do.
And I
when
can't
to
screw
do
that
it.
up.
Right.
Now, and that's not, this is Earl Nightingale, great motivator, used to say that you take an 18-year-old young man, young woman, and they've got the whole world in front of them. There's nothing but hope. Mm-hmm. There's nothing but dreams. There's nothing but vision. There's nothing but excitement. And if you're not careful, how do they select their first career choice? What their friends are doing.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I just got on down to factory. Come on down there hiring.
Right.
And that's about how much work they spend more time picking out a suit of clothes than they do a career.
That's right.
And you can fall backwards into things if you don't deem yourself of great value.
Yeah.
And, if you're in the technology world and you actually know how to do technology, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, you're incredibly
on what you can do.
Yeah.
But you got to actually believe it. And I can't get my foot in the door has nothing to do with the technology world, has to do with his foot.
You nailed it. See, here's what's going on with this young man and a lot of people that are listening today and watching. If you don't see how you are uniquely put together, then you will never believe that you have tremendous value. So this is really a self-awareness situation. But I will tell you that undoubtedly, and I don't want to put him on the spot on the air, undoubtedly he has been in an environment or he's had some experiences that has made him feel as though he doesn't have much to offer. And so awareness is huge. To begin to see himself as somebody who can do things well, that's talent, who enjoys doing things, that's passion, and who is motivated by results, that's a sense of mission, and that's what's in the assessment that we'll give him. So I want the audience to know, I didn't want to put him on the spot. I've talked to so many people like that on the air that they're dealing with a cloud of confusion.
And when you're in that, you don't interview well.
Yeah, you can't see
because anyone doing an interview looks at that person that's using that type of lingo and sentence structure, and they go,
yeah,
pretty quick. It's almost as big a turnoff as the other end of the spectrum, where you get a guy, if you could buy him for what he's worth and sell him for what he thinks he's worth, you'd be rich, right? You get a guy on the other side who's all pumped up and really thinks he's something he's not, right?
Yeah.
And that's the other end of the spectrum. And so when you're an employer doing an interview, or an HR person, a recruiter doing an interview, you're picking up on these vibes off of either one of these two characters we're talking about here, and it makes a difference. Quiet confidence and courage is an amazingly powerful thing. It changes your voice tone. It changes your body language. It changes your the believability that you can add value to an organization. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, it's Rachel Cruz. It's open enrollment season, so it's a great time to explore your healthcare options for next year. If you feel tied down by your budget, check out Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is not health insurance. It's a faith-based health cost-sharing ministry that has helped members take care of nearly $10 billion in healthcare costs. CHM is an affordable alternative to insurance that gives you the freedom and empowers you to live out your values. And you can join at any time. So find out more at chministries.org/budget.
Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Melissa is with us in Rochester, New York. Hi, Melissa. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Sure. What's up?
Sure, sir. The reason why I'm calling in is because I'm having a couple of issues right now. I currently own the home that I live in. It is completely paid off. However, that home is actually my mom's home.
What was your mom's home? It's now yours.
Yes, it was my mom's home. It is in my name now. It is paid off. However, it was originally my mom's home. She lost it, and so I helped her save the home, and now it's in my name out of fear that she'll lose it again. However, sir, my mom has made infrastructure changes to the property this was before I even had the home. She had made infrastructure changes, and she didn't properly permit the house. So she's gone now a couple of years with having rooms that she created into the house that weren't permitted. And so now I'm in fear that I may be facing any type of legal issues or ramifications that can come out of the house being in my name and her doing things to the home before they were even in my name. And so now I'm trying to just save myself any issues that may come out of all of this. And I want to just undeed myself and deed my mom back on the property and just give her the property to take care of.
How old is your mom?
My mom is 7 years old.
Okay. What did she do to the house?
She refinanced it.
No, I'm talking about the structural issues. What did she change?
She added bedrooms to the property.
So she did an addition.
Yes.
It changed the square footage of the house.
Are they not within code?
Well, no, they had. If you didn't permit and you changed the square, she changed the footprint, right?
Yes.
Oh,
so the actual outside structure of the home is the same. It was never changed. But what she did was she built up additional walls, creating bedrooms.
Inside the original footprint.
Inside the original footprint, correct.
Yeah, that's why
they have no way of knowing what happened there.
Right.
Correct.
So, no, you don't have any liability.
Nothing to worry about.
There's nothing to worry about.
There's nothing to worry about?
Right. Nothing to worry about.
And that's why I asked the
Did
code
she
question.
rewire the house without getting an electrical permit?
No.
Did she replumb the house without getting a plumbing permit?
Yes.
Completely replumbed the whole house?
Well, she added a bathroom. She added one bathroom.
Yeah, okay. All right.
And
Is it done? Is the construction done of reasonable quality?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I don't think you got a thing to worry about.
Nothing at all.
I think you got a thing to worry about. It would have been better to permit it, but lots of people do that kind of stuff. I mean, that's a fairly normal practice.
Yeah.
Some municipalities are much more strict than others. I can't tell you that, Rochester, New York is not like the toughest in the world or something. I don't know that. But in general, most people, it's inside the footprint. She didn't change the dimensions of the house. And, she didn't illegally do a trade other than adding a bath. I really, truly, I don't think you got a thing to worry about.
And I wouldn't give her the house back. She's going to borrow against it.
Well, here's what's going to happen is she's going to screw it up, and then she's going to turn around and leave it to you when she dies. And you got the mess again. You're going to get it back. This thing's a boomerang.
Yes. And now my one fear right now is, so the conditions of the house, the roof needs to be replaced. That's about $20,000. The driveway needs to be replaced. Fencing needs to be added because she hasn't.
Is she living in it or are you?
We're both living in it right now.
What do you make a year?
Right now, I'm not working. I decided to put myself back into school, and I just graduated 2 months ago.
How do you people eat?
Safety.
Where's the money?
Well, I have savings that I use up right now. I only have about $2,000 savings left.
And you have a paid-for house that's all run down?
Come again, sir?
You have a paid-for house, but it's all run down?
Yes, it's run down.
Yeah, and what are you getting ready to do for a career now?
I'm getting ready to go into public safety, law enforcement, to be specific.
And you'll be making what?
Now, I'll be making approximately $60,000 a year.
Okay. All right. Well,
and I currently have.
Okay, I would not deed it back to her. I would either sell it to an investor as is, and you guys go about your merry way, or I would sit there with a plan to gradually do the repairs that need to be done out of cash from your new job. Part of this is you want to get rid of of all the negative things that your mom represents by getting rid of this house.
Yes, sir, because right now she rents out. That's where some of the income is coming in. She did additional bedrooms. She rents out the bedrooms. And so that income, she claims it all because that's technically her retirement since she doesn't work.
I'm sorry, the house is yours. How does she rent out your house and she collects the rent? Y'all are weird.
Yes. It's only because the house was originally mine. I did save it from her. I didn't technically have any financial investment in it.
How did you save it then?
I was able to, when she short sold the house, I was able to purchase it for about $40,000. And
that's called a financial investment.
Yes, and she has since then refunded me that money.
Okay.
You don't have boundaries. Is the bottom line.
I think you might be right, Melissa. I'm going to change my mind right here in the middle of this call.
Wow.
I think you deed it to her and let her have it, and you go have a life. And when she passes away, you auction it off. Don't you ever move in it.
Okay.
I think this house and all the chaos that occurs around your mother in this house is all a huge negative spot for you, and a clean, fresh start in criminal justice system is a great thing for you. Clean, no chaos, simple little one-bedroom apartment, and you build up some cash again, and you've come out even. She gave you the money back that you used to save the short sale, but you can just push all of this chaotic weirdness over to the side and not have to worry about it anymore. And just, I would talk to a title company and I'd deed it out of your name into hers, and you go move.
But only if there's a clean break there.
Yeah, you have to stay
rent
away.
Your own place.
You have to have your life completely separate, completely clean. All the chaos stays over there on her side of the fence.
Don't help with the roof.
Anything around this mom figure is chaotic. I can smell it in the air. She's a character. Mom's a character. And then you're sitting there trying to be a normal person in the middle of this character, and that's why I called y'all weird. So I couldn't figure out how you own the house and she's collecting the rent, but now I'm starting to understand. So, yeah, I think it is a good idea. Let's just get away from it. But not because of the remodeling, because of the chaos around your mom. And this is never going to be, it's always going to be the weird part of your life until you give it a little bit of distance and a little bit of a boundary. Mm-hmm. All right, Casey's in St. Petersburg, Florida. Hi, Casey. What's up?
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Sure. How can I help?
So I've just been listening to your show for about a month now, and I understand a little bit about the baby steps, and I actually just signed up for the Financial Peace course through my church. So
wow, great.
To get started on that. Yeah. So my situation is that I am 41, single. I have $183,000 in student loan debt.
You a doctor or a lawyer?
Nurse practitioner.
Oh, good. That's even better. Okay. Yeah. So you're making what, 110?
I'm making 135.
135. Great. I love it. What other debts have you got?
I have $8,000 in private student loan debt.
Okay.
$5,000 in a Parent Plus loan for my daughter. Mm-hmm. And I have, this is the really hard part to even say out loud, is I have $19,000 in credit card debt from medical bills and other things.
Okay. What we're going to do is just do what we do in Financial Peace University. You're going to live on beans and rice and beans. You make a wonderful income. And as a nurse practitioner, you can also pick up some side gigs called ER on the weekends, and it pays really well. I want you working all the time. I want you spending no money. No restaurants, no eating out, no vacations, no life. And now we're making 150, 160. We're going to live on about 40, and we're going to throw 100 at this student loan debt, and you're going to be 100% debt-free in around 2 years. But it's going to be 2 years of hell, so get ready. It'll be worth it, though, because you'll be free. That's exactly how you're going to attack this, with great focused intensity. Good question. I'm proud of you. Get at it. Holler if you need some more help. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything. from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Go to Blinds.com now and save up to 50% off everything site-wide. Visit Blinds.com today to learn more. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. I'm Dave Ramsey. Thanks for joining us. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Rebecca is in Denver. Hi, Rebecca. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I'm wondering what your thoughts are on purchasing a custom tiny home.
Okay.
So my situation is I'm going through a divorce. My daughter and I are living in an apartment, and we're selling our house and wondering, on the other end of it, I should have between $100,000 and $125,000 from the equity. I'm going to beef up my emergency fund, and then I could pay cash for a custom tiny house, and my daughter's a senior in high school. Otherwise, I'll probably stay in the apartment for a few years, trying to save some more money. Just kind of was wondering. I know how you feel about trailers. I wasn't sure if it was the same with the tiny houses.
Yeah. What's your income?
$85,000 a year.
All right. And how long were you married?
7 years.
I'm sorry. It's a hard thing
Thank
to go
you.
through.
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem with the tiny house. Other than the fact that it's tiny. Here's the problem with the tiny house. There is no track record out there. It's a fairly new phenomenon. And there's no track record out there that says that there's a secondary market for it, meaning when you get ready to sell it, there's no evidence in the marketplace yet that you're going to be able to sell it at all, and that you'll be able to sell it for a price even close to what you paid for it. So you could get really stuck. If they, so why is it I don't like mobile homes? Well, there's a long track record. They go down in value 100% of the time. Okay, so we have a pattern, an observable pattern. And in finance things, that's what you're looking for, is an observable pattern. And so it's why you would, like for instance, if you bought a home in a neighborhood that is way out on the edge of town and is brand new, that's not as predictable an environment as buying a home in a tree-lined street that has been there for 20 years and is very predictable. You follow me? So
yes.
Even those two neighborhoods, those are both single-family homes I'm discussing there, but those two neighborhoods give you a predictable pattern. And that's why I would never buy a tiny home, because it's such a new phenomenon. We don't know what's going to happen. And we do know this. We do know this. The market is nowhere near the number of people looking for a tiny home at a given moment would be way smaller than the number of people looking for a regular home. Agreed?
Yes.
So your opportunity to your buyer pool that you would sell to is very small. No pun intended.
Okay.
So not physically small, but numbers small. But there's a lot of tiny home jokes here. But so no, I would not buy one for that reason. It's that simple. It's not that I hate on them or something like that. I do hate this idea that they're presented out there as somehow the answer to high house prices, the answer to this or that. They're not the answer, not yet. Someday there may be a robust market of people buying other people's tiny homes. But today there's not. And so, no, I would tell you don't do that. I would rent an apartment for a little while. I don't think it's going to be 5 years. I think you can go buy a home. You have a good income. You got $100,000 to put down. So get you a good 15-year fix. You know, Denver's an expensive market. It's tough to buy there. But I would not give up on real estate for 5 years. So you kind of presented me three options. I'm going to be in an apartment, I'm going to buy a tiny home, or I'm going to be in an apartment and wait 5 years. Two options. And I think you're in an apartment a lot less than 5 years. But part of this is you guys getting your spirits and your emotions reset after this pain that you two have been through, you and your daughter. And just having a simple apartment situation is not a bad thing for a year. And just use that year to live very conservatively and add to the $100,000 down payment, and then talk about maybe this time next year you're talking about buying a home. And, you know, it's a presidential election year. Maybe we'll see interest rates come down. Who knows? Other than the fact that they almost always do during a presidential election, because it's hard to get elected. You pretty much give up the White House if you give up the economy. So we kind of got that coming, right?
There is that. And I also think, just with all the pain and trauma that they're going through, that high school senior daughter needs some space. And you're in a tiny home. There's no space, and her having her own, place to move around that senior year, let you guys heal and get stable. I think this comes from a lot of people feel like renting is throwing money away, and it's not when we're getting stable.
It's not when it's patience with a plan.
Yes.
Spoken like a dad of teenagers. Okay.
Yes.
Mary is in Washington, D.C. Hi, Mary. How are you?
Doing okay. How are you guys doing?
Better than we deserve. How can we help?
Yeah, I was calling in. My husband and I have just started following your program, and we've made some I think smart decisions over the years, but we've been doing things in the not necessarily the order that you guys have laid out. And so I wanted to call in and check to see sort of a challenging question, a moral question, is should we pull back on things like tithing or retirement in the short term to focus on debt? It feels odd to do that, but I know that it's a hunk of money. So I don't know. We're just calling to get your thoughts and advice on that.
Okay. We never tell people to pull back on their tithe.
Okay.
The tithe is off the top. It's first fruits, it says in Proverbs many times. And so it's the first thing you do. So if you're a person of faith, which is what you're indicating by saying tithe, because that's a word associated with our faith. So Judeo-Christian ethic of some kind, whether you're Christian or Jewish, either one, but that's where the word tithe comes from. So you're putting that up front. Now, the rest of it is the most powerful wealth building tool you have is your income. And when you give it to someone else in the form of debt payments, you slow down your ability to build wealth. So how old are you guys?
41.
Okay. And how much debt do you have, not counting your home?
About $60,000.
On what?
58 of it is student loans, and then $2,000 left on a car.
And what's your household income?
About 110.
Okay. And how much do you have in retirement now?
We each have maybe between 80 and 100,000.
Okay. And do you have any money that's not in retirement?
We have a little bit in savings.
What's a little bit?
$5,000 in savings.
$5,000. Okay. You don't have another mutual fund sitting around or another investment account or anything else?
No. It's all sort of wrapped up in retirement.
Gotcha. Okay. So what we would tell you to do, and we think this is we've proven this is the shortest path to wealth versus the one you're on, is we would continue our charitable giving, continue tithing off the top before you do anything, be on a detailed written budget on the Every Dollar app. The two of you are in agreement on what we're doing. I would temporarily stop the retirement savings, and I would clean up this debt in the next 12 to 18 months. And then you don't have any payments but a house payment. But this student loan's going to hang around so long you think it's a freaking pet.
Yeah, it's been around for 15 plus years now.
Oh, it's a fat pet. Okay. Yeah, this thing needs. Sally Mae's gotten to be a toxic bother. She needs to go.
Sally Mae, my gosh, yes, and we've gotten it down. I mean,
no, you hadn't.
Before,
you still owe 58. Don't tell me you got it's $58,000. You need to attack this with complete focus and temporarily for a short period of time, year to a year and a half. I'd stop my retirement and I would attack that with a vengeance, like my hair was on fire. And if you do that, I mean, you put $30,000 a year on it, you'll be done in 2 years. You put $60,000 a year on it, you're done in 1 year. So somewhere between those two is probably where you're going to land. And I'd really dial it up and get after it, kiddo. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey, folks, you know that sinking feeling when you make an offer on a house you love and then you hear there's another offer? You need the Churchill Mortgage Home Buyer Edge. Super fast pre-approval and a secured interest rate. Plus a $5,000 seller guarantee gives your offer the best chance of being accepted. The Home Buyer Edge from Churchill gives you an advantage over those other guys. Go to churchillmortgage.com today to learn more. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Our last caller, 40 years old, with a student loan that's been around forever. Still hanging out with a student loan at 40, $58,000 student loan. And of course, most of us aware anyway, that student loan interest restarted September 1, and the payments will start in a couple of weeks here again in October. So we've got somewhere around 44 million Americans with $1.7 trillion in debt that have this train barreling down the tracks at you. So we decided to help out because the name of our company is Ramsey Solutions. So we need to give some solutions, not just squawking about it. So we're going to do that tonight. If you want to join us, 7 p.m. tonight, Tuesday night, September the 12th, we are doing a live stream. It's completely free. It is me, Jade Warshaw, and Rachel Cruz. We're going to be talking about student loan debt in America, how we got here, and how we're going to get out. It'll be in 4 or 5 hours from right now if you're listening to us live, but it is at 7 p.m. Central Time, Tuesday night, September the 12th. It's free. Just go to RamseySolutions.com/student-loans, and you can put in your email address, and you'll be able to give the live stream a free watch. We'll send you the link. Pretty simple. Patricia is up next in Roanoke, Virginia. Hi, Patricia. How are you?
Good, thank you. I have a question about my auto.
Okay.
So my question is, my lease is coming up. I went to the dealership, and the amount to buy it out is $27,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if I should just go ahead and buy the car or get a cheaper car and be just kind of like debt-free because I will still have the mortgage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you have any money?
I do have a savings of $30,000.
Okay. What is the car worth?
$28,000. So $1,000 over the price.
Yeah, so it's no bargain. It's an okay deal, but you can probably get that deal on a used car lot. So there's nothing that says to buy this car. If you were sitting with no car right now and you told me you had $30,000, I would not tell you to buy a $28,000 car. Because you only have $30,000. That would be using up all of your money. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm going to toss them the keys when this lease is up and go buy you about a $10,000 car. What do you make a year?
It depends, but the minimum $55,000. It depends how much I work, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, the maximum car you ought to buy would be 50% of your income. So that puts you at about, $25,000, but that's too much car because you don't have the money. So if I woke up in your shoes, I would have no car payment and be driving a very nice, gently experienced $10,000 car. Now, the difference in a $10,000 car and a $30,000 car is pretty substantial. But it's not like it's unreliable. It's not like it's not safe. It's not like it's any of those things. What is unreliable is being broke. What is unsafe is being broke. And $2,000 with a $30,000 car when you make $65,000 is broke. I wouldn't put you there. So I wouldn't buy that car, and I wouldn't buy anything anywhere near that price. Now, if you told me you had $100,000 in savings, yeah, and you love this car, maybe. But even then, it's a lot of car for someone with your income. A lot of money tied up.
Yeah, I've been shopping, Dave. You know this, for teenagers. You can get really decent cars in the $10,000 to $12,000 range. Even in this so-called, used car inflationary period, you can do it. You just have to swallow your pride and go, wait a second, I'd rather have more money than so-called pride. And you can get really decent cars that are functional and still in good shape. It's very doable. I look all the time. I got 2 more to buy next year. I'm a used car expert, Dave. At least I'm self-proclaimed, But I mean, that's reality.
Well, you're finding stuff out there that's safe.
Yes.
It's got a lot of life left in it.
Yes.
It's not filthy.
It's not trash on the inside.
A $15,000 car is not a hoopty.
No.
It's a nice car.
I just got my son Ty a Ford Explorer, 2012 Ford Explorer. Just give you an example. $12,000, bought it from a nice local businessman, had it in it's an HVAC. If I said the name, you'd know him. And it was sitting in their parking lot. They've treated it wonderfully. It's in phenomenal shape. His eyes about bugged out of his head. And mine too. I didn't expect to get him something that nice at that price range. But it's a fantastic car, barely over 100,000 miles.
Wow.
So, this isn't
got a lot of years left.
This isn't fantasy. I'm not just saying this. No, it's doable.
Yeah, that's what we would do in your shoes. Kennedy is in Indianapolis. Hi, Kennedy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay, so this is actually for Ken, more so. So I applied for, I'm in a position, I've been in it for 1.5 years. I meet all the qualifications to get promoted to a senior position per the guidelines that my job laid out. The only thing I'm missing is the 1.5 years of in the same position. I've worked for the company for almost 5 years come February, but I've been in this position for 1.5 years. They want me to be in it for 3, but I have all of the other qualifications. And they're like, we're sorry, we can't do anything because you don't have the extra 1.5 years, so you just have to sit there for 1.5 years before we will promote you. I don't know how to get around that. I'm doing everything extra. I listened to you a couple days ago and you were like, I asked my boss, hey, I want to be promoted. I want to be a manager. This is what I want to do. What do I have to do to get it? And she said, you've got to wait the 1.5 years.
Yeah. So
is there anything I can do?
No. You have to decide,
do you want to
be there?
Do you want to work there?
Because they have laid out for you what is required. And, listen, this is the tension between patience and persistence. We want to move forward. We want progress, but it requires patience. And so now they've laid it out very clearly for you. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I'm really impressed that they held the line on what they prefer.
I'm not. They sound like a bunch of idiot bureaucrats.
Well, then there's Dave's opinion.
Really. Why would you?
I'll tell you why.
The woman's been there 5 years. She'd be promoted at Ramsey.
Well, but we don't know anything about the organization.
She meets all the other qualifications. The only thing she hadn't done is sit on her butt in that one role for 1.5 years.
All right, so let me clarify. Yeah. I don't necessarily have to agree with it. I respect the fact that they were clear and they've held the line and they're consistent. So the point is they communicated clearly to you is what I was saying, and I respect that.
Which gives you the opportunity to leave.
So now you get to decide. Do you want to wait another 1.5 years or do you want to move on? So here's the ultimate. If you knew that they changed their mind today, would you be super excited about the present and the future with this company?
I would.
Well, then.
Yes. I love it. I love the company. It's just, I don't want to be stuck in the same role I am. I want to get promoted. I feel like I've deserved to get promoted because I have done more than gone above.
All right, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you agree with Dave that their
it's
requirement?
It's arbitrary.
Is it arbitrary,
yes.
or do they tie it to actual hours? I don't even know what you do. Is it arbitrary or is it legit?
That
they require 3 years of experience.
So in their requirement, they have 8 different sections, and you have to meet above 50% in 8 of those sections. And then the requirement is minimum of 3 years in the same position doing the same role. And I have that from like outside experience, but not 3 years with the company.
So not 3 years with them. Okay. I get it. All right.
Yeah.
I get what Dave is saying,
But she's
too.
been there 5 years.
Yeah, I think you should get the
But
gig.
I've been with them for 5 years.
Yeah, listen, I agree with Dave. You should get the gig, but I at least appreciate they've told you. So now you got to deal with it. I don't think you being the squeaky wheel is going to change their policy. Some people in some companies like policy more than they do principle.
This big company, too.
Of course.
Yes.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's a policy over principle.
Yeah, they have more rules than sense.
That's all they do. They don't think, well, wait a second. This lady's got this experience outside of here. She more than meets the requirement. That's not the way they think. So you got to decide, do I want to be here and deal with the way they think, or do I want to move on? Unfortunately, that's what you're left with.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, they do have the right to do that. It's their right. They own it.
Yeah.
And, sometimes people don't agree with stuff I do here, and it's got my name on the building, though. I do whatever I want to do.
That's right.
But you don't have to agree with it. And then sometimes they leave because they don't agree with it. And
that's an option.
That's an option, too. Yep. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Ken. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Thank you for joining us, America. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, host of The Ken Coleman Show, and author of the #1 selling book, From Paycheck to Purpose, where he helps people with their careers, their jobs, and their work. And he's going to be doing that today, right here on The Ramsey Show. Phone number here is 888-825-5225. Louisa is with us in Washington, D.C. Hi, Louisa. How are you?
Good afternoon. So great to be speaking with you today. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Thank you. What's up?
All right. I've got a what would Dave do scenario, and I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to say, but I kind of just want to walk through some options I have, and it's concerning my mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of background. I have an ARM that resets every November, and it hasn't really been, much of an issue until recently, obviously because the rates have gone up. So it is resetting from 4.5% to 6.5%.
Joyful.
Yep. The balance on the loan is $99,000. I've actually paid off $52,000 in the last year, and I am on track to pay this off. My goal is December of 2025. Okay. So here are the scenarios I just want to walk through, want to get your thought. Option one is just to, stick with the new payment coming up in November. My payment is actually going down $180, even with the rate going up because I've paid off so much. So it's actually going down $180. So that's option one, is just proceeding with, 6.5%. And then, the rate would reset, next year. Option two is a recast. And I've kind of read where you're not a big fan of a mortgage recast and want to get your thoughts on this. So obviously the rate would stay the same, 6.5%. This would require a $20,000 payment by the end of October, and that would lower the payment $140 a month. Okay? So that's option two. And then
why would you want to lower it if you're paying it off in 2 years? What's the benefit?
Well, I guess that's where I think.
I don't understand. It's like we're trying to pay it off in 2 years or 2.5 years, right?
Right.
And how does lowering the payment accomplish that?
It's lowering the interest that I'm paying.
No,
right?
it's not.
That would be.
No, it's not.
But
If you recast,
you're
you're going to recast at a lower interest rate?
No, I'm
Okay.
recasting. I'm taking it from a balance of 99,000 to.
Oh, it would lower the
to-
balance.
Yeah,
But
so
you could
it
do
would-
that
it would-
anyway. You don't have to recast
yeah.
to do that.
Yes, I could, and
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing. Is just
Recast.
paying, I've paid
All
off-
recasting does is reset the payment based on a longer term. It doesn't change the interest charged.
Right. Okay.
So there's no benefit
All right.
to you mathematically to recast,
Okay.
given that you're planning to pay it off in 2 years.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And here's the other thing: is that I don't have $20,000 just sitting around. Right?
Well, then
It
there's
would
that,
require
yeah.
me to- right. Exactly. So that kind of brings me to option 3. And let me just preface this by saying I heard you about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, before the rates, were creeping up, because I was going to refinance, and I remember you telling a caller, "Don't refinance if you can pay it off in 3 years." So I kind of went with that model, and I'm on target. I'm on track to pay this off, and that is really why I did not refinance. But option 3 would be digging into my brokerage account and paying it off entirely. I have about $200,000. I'd have to cash,
Not in a
obviously.
retirement? You have a brokerage account sitting there with enough to pay it off?
Yes, I do.
Pay it off today.
And yeah, I knew
You
you were
knew
gonna
I was
say
gonna do that.
I did. I still wanted to walk through the options.
Okay. So if you had a paid for home with a brokerage account with $100,000 less in it, would you go borrow $99,000 on your paid for home to put more money in your brokerage account?
No.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm just having some.
Let me tell you what's going to
Heartburn
happen, all right? That you don't anticipate, because I've been the other side of it myself and with a whole bunch of other people. You do not understand when you pay this off and you walk out in the backyard with no shoes on, that the grass is going to feel so much different. There's going to be a level of peace blow through your home like a nice cool wind that you don't even know is coming. When you owe no man nothing, all this hand-wringing you've been doing for the last few minutes trying to figure out what to do, all that's gone. Just clean and simple. You just
Right.
own your house. You're weird.
Right.
I love it. I love it. And listen, if you really hate it, then go get you a new mortgage.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to hate it. I think you're going to
Yeah,
feel
I know.
freedom that you have not felt in your adult life.
Yep.
And I know that
All
from
right.
the having experienced it myself, because I don't have any debt and haven't had for 30 years. And I walk around without all of these weights on my shoulders, and that a lot of people have. And I get to make different decisions and have a different level of calm in the middle of a storm and all of that. Pay off your house, Louisa, please. I promise you won't regret it. But if I'm completely bonkers and you do regret it, you can always go get you another mortgage.
And theoretically put it back in the brokerage. There's a fear there. You could hear it.
Yeah, well, no, it's just this angst of the devil I know.
Yeah, that's right.
The devil I know versus the peace I've never known. And it's I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. I don't know which is the correct thing. And let me just tell you, man, when you get no payments in the whole freaking world, financial peace, 2 words that don't go together, like airline service. Man, wow. Like postal service. Sorry to you postal people. Oh my gosh. Sorry to you airline people. I mean, really. I mean, it's financial peace. 2 words that don't go together. I mean, I've got money in a brokerage. I've got my emergency fund. I've got retirement going. And I own my whole freaking house. Some of you need to breathe that in and make that a goal. Some of you spend a lot of calories flipping stuff over in your head, wringing your hands, trying to figure out something, when the answers are usually pretty simple. Clean it up, people. Simplify, simplify. That's it. Simplify. Yeah. Huh. It's hard to beat, guys. Hard to beat. This is The Ramsey Show. Well, you've all played the telephone game. The first person whispers a message to the second person, who whispers it to the third, and so on around the table until the original message has completely changed. Multiply that confusion by 100 if you run a business with different software systems that don't talk to each other. That's why there's NetSuite by Oracle. In the early days of Ramsey, we were using different systems for all of our business units. We needed one single source for accurate data. NetSuite was the software we used to optimize and take us to the next level. NetSuite gave us the visibility into all of our numbers so that we could communicate across departments and plan ahead better. And as we grew, it scaled with us. NetSuite worked for Ramsey, and it will make a difference for your business too. Join the more than 34,000 customers who trust NetSuite to help make them smarter and make better decisions and level up their operations. To learn more, get a free product tour at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Our question of the day for the Ramsey Show is sponsored by Neighborly, your hub for home services, from repairs and maintenance to remodeling and upgrades. Neighborly's trusted home service providers have trained local experts who can handle almost any job. So go to neighborly.com to find and schedule service today.
Today's question comes from Roger in South Carolina. I'm a 20-year-old male currently studying aerospace engineering. I know the aerospace industry is very cyclical, so I was wondering if having a one-year salary emergency fund would be a good idea before having kids. Well, I'm sitting next to the guy who created the concept. I don't think a year is necessary, and I don't know enough to understand why he believes the aerospace industry is so cyclical, but 6 months, if you're in kind of a topsy-turvy industry like that, I think would be good. I don't hate having a one-year emergency fund, but is it necessary?
No.
With his credentials?
Roger, you're an engineer. You overanalyze things. Your job is to perceive risk, and so you see risk everywhere. But there's not that much risk. You will be fine. If you have an aerospace engineering degree, you will be able to get a job and feed your family sometime in the 6-month period. Yeah, 6 months is fine. But and here's the other thing. The more money you put into that, the slower you build wealth. The faster you build wealth, the less you worry about an emergency fund. If you got $1 million in a mutual fund and $5,000 in an emergency fund, you don't have enough in your emergency fund. But you got $1 million in a mutual fund, so you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know, so the faster you build wealth, the less you have to worry about any of this. So you're going to be just fine. Tom's in St. Paul, Minnesota. Hi, Tom. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and Ken. I just want to say, starting off, your principles have, changed my wife's life and my life. So just wanted to thank you guys for your ministry.
Thank you. How can we help?
Yeah. So getting to my question, a little bit of context. Last month, I actually called Ken on his show, and I was just laid off from my mortgage loan officer job, actually working at Wells Fargo. And I was looking for places to basically trying to figure out references, and Ken gave me great advice. And a month later, I now have a job at a Toyota dealership selling cars. So really exciting. I guess my main question is, is a lot of people are coming in, they're financing their car, they're leasing their cars. In fact, there's some incentive for us to push leases just because from our standpoint, that creates repeat customers. Now, none of this stuff is stuff that I would recommend to my loved ones. I would never do it myself. Am I in the wrong if I'm in a position where I'm sometimes selling these? If so, should I consider changing jobs, or what are your thoughts?
Well, you're not ethically doing anything wrong. This is not any legal activity. But because you don't believe in it, we don't believe in it either, but this is about your principles. Eventually, this is going to eat away at you. So short term, I would be looking for something to make a transition, because long term, this will eat away at you. And listen, I talk about engagement all the time. I study the data. Listen, a person who doesn't believe in the mission, the product, the service of a company is not going to be fully engaged. And that has a lot of negative effects, financial opportunities for you, promotional opportunities. It affects your health, your mental health, and beyond. So I think long term, if I'm a guy like you that has a strong principled conviction that you have, I would eventually move on from selling something that you just don't believe in.
Yeah, it's not something you have to run out of the building today like your hair's on fire, like you discovered the boss had 20 pounds of cocaine in his office. You don't hang out there another day. Okay, that's not what's going on. This is a disagreement of how the product works. And so Rabbi Lapin talks about that in his book. He's my good friend, Orthodox Jewish rabbi, and he wrote a book called Thou Shalt Prosper. And the book is the 10 reasons that Jewish people have had an inordinate probability of being financially successful in any point in human history. They tend to thrive. And why is that? One of the things is they believe that making money is an honorable thing if you're doing an honorable thing. And one of the things he points out in that chapter, it's one of the 10 things, is that it's if you're doing something that's psychologically incompatible with your belief system, it's very difficult to be good at it. Mm-hmm. And so, that's another way of saying exactly what Ken said. And so, I'm completely aligned with what Coleman is saying here. If I were in your shoes, I would say I'm going to give myself 60 days and I'm going to be somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Because they are going to sell car leases because they make more money on car, not because of repeat customers, but because they make more money on car leases than they do on the actual sale of the car. And they make more money on car leases than they do if they do a regular finance plan with a bank. And they make more money on car leases than they do just about anything else. It's one of the most profitable parts of the entire auto industry now. And so it's massively profitable for them. This paper is amazing. And so they're not only not going to not stop it, they're going to push it because it's where they make their money. And so that's how it is. It's like there's a series of articles have gone around the last few years that if you work at Victoria's Secret selling small underwear, right, you have to sell a certain number of Victoria's Secret credit cards or they will not give you hours.
Okay.
Because they're more in the credit card business than they are the small underwear business.
Right.
Small underwear is there just to get you into the credit card debt.
Interesting.
Into big debt. Mm-hmm. Small underwear, big debt. There it is. So there you go. That's how it works.
That's a great slogan.
You ought to box that one up and sell it. But anyway, that's so. But if you want to work there in that store, in the retail store, you're not going to get hours.
That's right.
You're not going to be promoted if you don't sell credit cards. Even if you sell a whole bunch of small underwear and you don't sell any credit cards, you're going to be on the street. But that's the business they're in. They know where their money's coming from. They know what the profit centers are, and they're going to drive you that way. Yeah. So then you've got to decide, as an employee, are you going to plug into that? And I think you've already decided.
Oh, sure.
Tom.
Yeah.
I think he's already on.
He had already decided and just wants permission. Is this silly? No, it's not silly at all.
No, it's smart. Brian is in Jacksonville, Florida. Hey, Brian, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave, how you doing today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Oh, glad to hear it. I had a question for you. I'll give you a little background information on myself. I'm 40-year-old. I have 2 kids. My wife's a stay-at-home mom. We own a townhome. We owe about $55,000 left on it. My wife has some savings, around $60K, and I'm debating whether I should use that money to pay off the house or if I should invest it like in an IRA or something for the future. But the thing is, we're in a small townhome, and we're looking to get some a little bit more space for for the family, because kids are sharing a room. I got a boy and a girl.
When are you moving?
We're not moving at all yet. We'd like to get another property because we like to have.
Well, I mean, is this 2 years or a year or 10 minutes?
Oh, it'll probably be the next couple of years.
Okay.
2-3 years.
Pay it off.
Pay it off?
Today.
Okay.
Today.
The reason I ask is my financial advisor tells me not to, because he says my interest rate on my home is going to be less than what I'd be making in the stock market. That's why I figured I'd call him and double check with you.
Guess what? He doesn't make a dime when you pay off the house. He makes a commission when you invest the money with him.
I understand that.
Hello.
Okay.
Ding, 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 ding. And I didn't make a dime either way. So you do whatever you want to do. But if I woke up in your shoes, I'd have a paid-for house. Now, you need to get yourself on a budget, and you need to sit down with another financial advisor that's not giving you stupid butt advice, and get you an IRA started, and get your kids 529 started, and let's get some investing going and get yourself on a budget with your wife. And the two of you working together, let's get detailed and dial this money stuff in, man, because it kind of feels like you're loosey-goosey running out here just for trying to figure this out as you go, and you need to dial it in and make sure every dollar is barking. Every dollar is doing what it's supposed to do. So getting the Every Dollar app, getting Financial Peace University, do that kind of stuff. But if I woke up in your shoes, I'd pay my house off today, dude. Just like that. No question. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey, if you're in over your head with student loans and tired of getting calls from collection agencies, if private student loan debt is taking away your financial peace and you don't see any way out, you need Y-Refi. They're not a debt settlement company, and they're not connected to a bank. Y-Refi refinances defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch, and gives you a custom loan built for you based on your ability to pay. So when you refinance your private student loan debt with Y-Refi, you'll have a payment you can afford with a low fixed interest rate you couldn't get anywhere else, to help you stick to your budget and work the debt snowball. And you can save thousands of dollars. To learn more about this custom refinancing option and a lump sum payoff option you could qualify for after 24 months, call 844-2-RAMSEY or go to yrefi.com/Ramsey. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. If you like what you hear around here, you could help us out, and we'd appreciate it. Click the follow button, the subscribe button, the share button. Share the show. Share a link. Tell people where you're listening on talk radio or TBN or whatever it is. Spread the word about the show, and leave a 5-star review. They're very helpful. All of those things, the share, the like, the subscribe, the follow, all of those things really push the show to the front of the algorithms and cause people to find us. And it doesn't cost you a thing, and we would appreciate the help. Thank you very much. Trevor is in Salt Lake City. Hi, Trevor. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thanks for having me, Dave. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
I grew up listening to your show with my parents, so huge fan of yours.
Well, thank you.
I got a question for you regarding either reinvesting in my business or purchasing a home, and I can give you a little bit of information about it. So I'm 23 years old. I'm getting married in a week.
Wow.
And thank you.
Good for you. Congrats.
Thank you. Between me and my fiance, we have about $50,000 in our savings account. We have no debt. My business has about $75,000 in assets, as well as I have about $25,000 in investments, mutual funds, CDs, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering, with your expert opinion, what I should do, if I should reinvest in my business to continue to grow it, or whether or not I should look into purchasing a home.
How much do you need to reinvest in the business, and why?
So the reason I'm reinvesting in my business, I just bought a new skidster. I do landscaping. I've been able to pay everything cash, trailers, equipment. I just got a new skidster, and I'm looking to purchase a second truck. I have 3 employees, so looking to have a second truck for them, as well as a new trailer, and just upgrading some of our mowing equipment and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. If you spend that money, you're going to spend, what, $20,000-$30,000?
Correct.
And what does that cause you to make because you spent that you wouldn't make if you didn't spend it?
Okay, so this I'm anticipating this year to make about $80,000. That's after taxes, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm anticipating if I can get that reinvestment, I can make an additional 20 to 30.
So you can make the money back in a year.
Next year. Yes, probably.
You spend 20 or 30, you make an extra 20 or 30 as a result.
Correct.
Okay. And sounds like you got $75,000.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's in equipment.
And you
trucks,
make
trailers.
No. You have $75,000 cash. You have 25 in a mutual fund and 50 in your account, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
approximately.
All right. And what does your wife make?
She makes about 40 a year.
And you're going to net on your business 100?
No, I'm anticipating 80 this year. I reinvested quite a bit this year. I just bought the skidster about 2 weeks ago. So that ran me a little bit. And I do owe, the only debt I have is I owe my father, who was gifted me $15,000 towards my skidster I bought. So I'm going to pay him back.
Was that a gift or a loan?
A loan, more or less.
Well, that's an interesting piece of information for a guy for 10 minutes has been telling me he was debt-free. You're not debt-free. You owe your dad $15,000. No,
Yeah,
you're not going to invest in your business. You're going to be paying your dad back.
I will pay it off in the next month. So
oh, no, today. You have the money in your account right now. You shouldn't have taken it from him in the first place.
Okay.
You got $50,000. You need to borrow $15,000 from your dad.
Correct. I just wanted to keep some money in an emergency fund where I am self-employed. And getting married, I wanted to be able to have some money.
Yeah. Should have bought a skid steer
that
then.
way.
If you need the money for an emergency fund, you shouldn't have bought a skid steer. But you bought one now, and now you got a loan, and now you got to pay it off. I'd pay that off today. And then what I would do is get married and spend the first year of your marriage piling up cash for a good down payment on a house. And after you've been married a year, you will make a different purchase than after you've been married a week. It's a different house.
Okay.
It takes a year of being married to know how close to your mother-in-law or your father-in-law who loaned you money for skid steers that you want to live. How close do you want to live with these people?
Yeah.
It takes a year to figure that out. So it's a joke, but not really.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot of truth to that. The other thing, too, is I would be challenging myself. How can I make an additional $15,000, $20,000 a year over the next year of my business without spending 20 to 30? Get innovative. And especially in that first year of marriage. He was already worried. That's why he took the loan out from his dad, I believe.
Yeah. So, Trevor, you need to quit buying toys for your business that you haven't done a careful ROI on, because you're not going to get an ROI on this skid steer. That's bullcrap. You're not going to make enough on that thing to justify having purchased it. You would have been better off buying mowing equipment to expand your operation than with a skid steer. So quit buying business toys that don't have very fast, large ROI. Stop it. I had a friend of mine that's in the building business, and he bought a skid steer. Now, I bought a skid steer the other day, too.
Did you really?
Yeah. There's one out at the farm.
For you?
But I bought it for no reason at all, except I have the money, and it's a toy.
You like moving dirt around.
Well, I got my grandson in my lap digging up stuff that doesn't even need to be dug up.
All right, so this is embarrassing. This won't surprise Dave at all. But you guys are throwing skid steer around, skid steer this, skid steer that.
You don't even know what this is, do you?
I had to Google it real quick, James.
It's a bobcat.
It's a Bobcat. I would have known.
It's a Bobcat on tracks.
It's pretty cool
If it's
looking
on
little
tracks.
machine.
If it's on tracks, it's a skid steer.
Right.
Yeah,
so basically, Papa Dave, got his own real life Tonka.
It's a toy. Yeah. That's exactly what I did.
It is. It's great.
Yeah.
And good for you.
Yeah, it's fun.
Because your grandson thinks that's really cool.
Oh, my God, man.
It's a giant Tonka.
There is no cooler Papa Dave in the world than one with a skid steer.
So what I'm hearing is live like no one else, so later you can dig holes for no reason at all.
Yes, to make your grandson happy. That's the dream of every grandfather.
Hey, every 4-year-old's dug a hole for no apparent reason, and every 64-year-old apparently is going to do the same thing.
You never get over it. I was going to say live like no one else.
Just so the public knows I'm not anti-skid steer, okay? I'm just saying. But from a business perspective, don't buy stuff that you can't ROI quickly. And I got to tell you, here's an interesting thing. Working with people in entree leadership, very few women do this in business. It's kind of a male thing.
Yeah,
toys. It's a male stupid thing.
It's toys,
and they do it. They do it with computers.
Right.
The guys that do all this equipment stuff in here, I have to constantly go, no, we don't need another one.
All right.
Good God, how many microphones do I need to own? Seriously. But the boys collect toys, man. There's just something about it. And ladies, they're very careful. But oftentimes I have to get them to go the other way. It's hard to get them to do the actual investment they need to do.
Right.
Because they're conservative on it. But very few women in business collect toys like boys do.
And you know what's interesting? I'll bet you can prove this. They're much more resourceful as well. Think about the mom who always makes the science project happen under the wire, with a couple of straws, a rubber band here. It's like you can build that business, that landscaping business, without that new truck. You can't. You just got to be innovative. And that's where innovation comes from, is when we have a lack of resources.
Craig Groeschel talks about that a lot.
Yeah. In fact, he's the one that, it was mind-blowing. I think I interviewed him years ago when I was hosting Entree Leadership. It's one of the best thoughts on innovation that I've ever heard is from Craig Groeschel.
Yeah. A lack creates a necessity to become creative on how you're going to do it if you can't do it any other way.
Yeah.
And so that's why your dad did you no favor loaning you that money.
Right.
So that's the thing. So all that to pick on you, Trevor, because we love you and we want you to win. So pay off your dad today, get a little apartment and set up house and concentrate on loving each other, not on stupid real estate deals for the first year of your marriage. And after you've been married a year and saved up a little more money above your emergency fund and you're truly debt-free, and the next time you tell somebody you're debt-free, make sure you are, then from there, you put down with a good, strong down payment on a 15-year fixed after you've been married a year. That's what I would do if I were in your shoes. Congratulations on the marriage. This is The Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thanks for hanging out with us, America. This is The Ramsey Show. We're so glad you're here. Hey, guys, George Camel and the Every Dollar team are hosting a free live virtual training for your budget. Yeah, you're going to learn how to find more margin in your finances, to spend without guilt, and to make a budget that actually works. First one is happening September the 19th at 12:30 Eastern Time. Spots are limited. You can pick one with George. Jade Warshaw is going to be doing some. I think Rachel Cruz might be doing another one too. So all these budgeting webinars are completely free. Go to everydollar.com/budgeting, and we'll help you get started with this stuff. All right, here we go. Josh is in Orlando. Hi, Josh. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, never grow up, especially if you can afford it, right, gentlemen?
That's right.
There's the plan. What's up, man?
Okay, so I have a pro and a con. So here's my dilemma, and I'm trying to get as debt free as I possibly can. I have about $20,000 in credit card debt, and then that's my primary, and then my secondary is my auto loan, which I'm about $11,000 upside down. In regards to my credit card, I have $18,000 in RSU shares from my company, and then I have $7,000 in a traditional IRA. Wanting to know if I should use my stock wanting to know if I should use both to pay off my credit card debt.
I would not use an IRA. I would use your stock.
Okay. And the reason for not using the IRA?
Penalties and taxes.
Okay.
Leave those alone. And I would quit adding to the IRA, and I would cut up the credit cards and never touch the stupid things again. Get a debit card. Do not even own a credit card.
Okay, 100%. And then what about the IRA to where I cashed it out, I have it in a savings account?
You already have?
Yeah, I did the transfer, or I did the part of the work, but I haven't fully transferred it to my personal savings account.
When did you do this?
I did it last Friday to where it was effective for me to utilize today.
Okay. Well, you've got 60 days to undo it without penalty. And so I'm going to go to RamseySolutions.com and click on SmartVestor and find a SmartVestor Pro in the area to help you undo it and get it back into an IRA before you get hit with the penalties and the taxes. How much was in that? You said there's only like $7,000 in the account, though, right?
Yeah, it was only $7.
Yeah, so you're probably only going to lose $3,000 or $4,000, but that's still a ridiculous. I mean, you're paying 40% interest effectively to get the money freed up. I would not do that. I think it's a good practice for you to learn to leave that alone. So let's roll that back into while you're in the 60-day window. Get you an IRA set up with a SmartVestor Pro, and then start your. Then cut up your credit cards and pay them all off, and then you've still got to clean up your auto loan. That's your next thing. So beans and rice and beans. No adding to any investments of any kind, and we're completely focused on clearing this debt. That's the next process there. So, good question. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Tyler is in Jacksonville, Florida. Hi, Tyler. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How's it going?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Yeah, so I got a little bit of a dilemma here with some in-laws. I guess give you a backstory. I'm married, moved away from home, and I guess I said in-laws, but my parents moved away from home, and my mother's not in a great financial situation. She hasn't been working and has some tax issues from a past business, and she's asking to borrow some money to make a house payment, and I feel led to, but I'm also trying to talk to her in the nicest way possible to try to sort out a longer term plan than, make a payment and then what do we do next month and what do we do next month. My siblings aren't as financially capable to help, so I feel like.
How old are you, Tyler?
Kind of falling to me. What was that?
How old are you?
28.
How old's your mother?
57.
Okay. On what planet is the 28-year-old supposed to take care of the 57-year-old that was too trifling to do it herself? It's not your job, man. It's not your job.
Yep.
And I bet your wife isn't happy with this either.
No.
What do you make a year?
Combined, we're making probably $250, $260.
You're making bank, aren't you? Good for you. Okay.
What is your mom doing?
Nothing. Calling Tyler for money.
Is she not working at all?
No, not currently.
Well, take me back.
So I guess,
When was she working?
It's been a while.
Why?
She had a housing company quite a while ago. And
why is she not working?
Off that. There's not a good reason, I guess.
I don't think so either. Okay. So you giving her money is not sustainable because you were correct in your wisdom when you observed that you're going to be doing it again next month and next month and next month and next month because you're enabling her bad behavior.
Yeah.
Instead, what I would do is come alongside her and say, Mom, I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. I'm going to give you some suggestions and some help and show you what to do so you can straighten this out. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get into Ken Coleman's book, From Paycheck to Purpose, and we're going to get you a job and a career. And then I'm going to put you onto Every Dollar on a budget, and you're going to make money and pay your own bills, and you're going to like yourself more when you do that. I am not going to pay your bills, Mom, but I will be here for you. I love you, and I will help you figure out a way to pay your bills. And she's not going to like that, Tyler, because she likes doing nothing.
Yeah, I think that could be the case.
Yeah, she's going to get angry with you, and she's going to become a travel agent for guilt trips, which is what codependent people do when their enabler cuts them off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is going to be tough, but you're being very wise. I'm not trying to just be mean to your mom. I'm disrespecting her. I'm disrespecting her because her behaviors are awful. But I'm not trying to be mean to her. She needs to change her behaviors so that she has a quality life. She's 58 freaking years old. There's nothing wrong with this woman. She could get a job and pay her bills instead of mooching off her 28-year-old son. And so it's good for her. She's going to like herself better. All the other brothers and sisters are going to like her better. Everybody's going to be a lot happier when Mom gets her crap together. Am I missing something?
No, I think that's right. I just, it's kind of what you said, just trying to figure out the best way to go about it without, being mean.
You're not being mean when you don't give a drunk a drink. It's not good for a drunk to have a bottle of Jack Daniels. It's not good for a heroin addict to be loaded up with heroin. It's not good for them. They don't like it when you tell them no, but it's not good for them. This is not good for your mom. Loving your mom well is helping her get a life that is not filled with chaos, a life that's not filled with uncertainty, and a life that's not sustainable, and it doesn't have any dignity. And so now again, you're not being mean. Now she's going to tell you you're being mean. That's so mean. You have plenty of money. What's wrong with you, Tyler? I raised you. You can give me a little. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's going to sound like coming back at you. That's called a travel agent for guilt trips. She's going to pitch one on you.
I'd be more worried about upsetting my wife than I would be upsetting my mom. And I think that's what this is going to come down to.
I would be worried that I'm doing harm to my own mother who I love.
And there's that too.
And when you support the misbehavior, you're doing harm to them. Enablers are not helpers. They're cowards who won't say no. That's what they are. Don't be a coward. Love her well enough that you help her. For real, help her. And if you want to put her through Financial Peace University, you call. Our team will give it to you. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Ken. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. The phone number here is 888-825-5225. Thank you for joining us. Robin is in Phoenix. Hi, Robin. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking my call.
Sure.
I am going to retire in about 3 years at 76. I have no mutual funds and no 401k. My question is, should I buy or rent at that time at 76?
Okay. How would you be able to buy if you don't have any money?
Yeah, well, I've got time. So currently, my income is $4,500 a month. $2K is going to rent. $2K is going to student loans, and I spend $500 on daily on debt, living expenses.
You're 70 years old and you have a student loan?
Yes, yes. I haven't paid it off yet, but I will pay it off. It's expected to be paid off in March of 24.
Okay. What's the balance on it?
$12,000.
Wow.
So I'm paying $2,000 a month on that. $2K.
Okay.
Yeah, $2K a month.
All right. I'm really curious how you end up with a student loan at your age. How did you do that?
Well, that's called paying the interest. I paid the interest only for a long time. So
what's a long time?
Since 2020, since 2005, I guess. That's when I graduated.
You graduated in 05, so you graduated 20 years or 18 years ago, and you've been paying. Yeah. And your degree is in what?
Well, that particular degree, I've got some more since that time, but that particular degree was in communications.
Okay. All right. And what do you do for a living?
I'm a quality inspector.
Okay. Wow. All right. The thing that runs through my head is this. Obviously, you at retirement have to have monthly money to pay an electric bill and buy food and provide shelter. Okay? The largest line item in your budget for the rest of your life, if you live to be 95, another 20-something years, is going to be housing. And if you're renting, your cost of housing is going to go up every year because rent always goes up. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If you buy, at least you're locked in to what you're going to be spending on housing from this point forward. So buying is good. Having a paid-off home by the time you get there is even better. And, of course, having a nest egg to live on. So do you have a pension in the background of this, or are you counting on just Social Security to feed you?
No, I'll finish the rest. So currently what I have is a universal life policy that has a cash value approximately $9,000 in it. I'm reluctant to cash it out because it has a long-term care rider of 50 months on it at 4%. So that's going to give me about $1,500 a month just for that. Now, as I shared, by the time I retire, I will have approximately $500 in pension and $2,500, I'm guessing, $2,500 in Social Security, which will give me $3,000. And
you have no money in savings at all?
My $1,000.
$1,000.
I got my $1,000.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want you to cash the universal in and pay the student loan down. And let's be done with the student loan very quickly. Let's get that in the background as soon as possible so we can try to accomplish a couple of these other goals, which is housing, and start to build some kind of a nest egg over the next 3 years. So basically, you're going to live on beans and rice for the next 3 years while you throw as much money towards housing, buying a home, and as much money towards a nest egg as you can throw. And both of those are going to be better moves than a bad universal policy. So we've got to get the student loan in your rearview mirror to pull that off. So get the student loan in your rearview mirror, build an emergency fund, and then start saving for a down payment while you're putting at least 15% of your income or more into retirement. And I want you to save as much as you can save for retirement while putting down as much as you can put down on a house. And when you do buy a home, I want you to buy a very modest, a very inexpensive property. I am more concerned that you have basic shelter that is locked in on its monthly cost than I am you having a home that you are necessarily thrilled with.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I want to stabilize. I'm trying to stabilize your future. That's my first goal. Your luxury or your comfort are secondary, but stabilizing the shelter aspects of your future next 20 years is really what I got to lean on. And wow. Well, the good news is I think you can actually make a pretty good dent in 36 months on this if you'll be very focused. I think that might be one of the oldest student loan debt callers I've had.
It's mind-boggling. I'm sitting there listening to that, and because we're having the student loan live stream tonight, it's absolutely free. RamseySolutions.com, 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern. It's important to point out that she is, and I don't throw this word around lightly, you know this, Dave, she's a victim of this cultural message that has said, if you get a degree, you're going to get a raise. And sometimes that's true. Many times it's not. And she kept getting degrees.
My last
degree
was in
degrees,
communications, and I'm not in communications.
Exactly. She's in quality assurance. And so you've got to be careful. These degrees don't come with jobs. You still got to go out and find them, get them, and perform them well. And I'm not trying to be unkind, but there are so many people that still believe you go through a layoff at 45 or at 50 and you go, I got to go get more education. Maybe.
But probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah. Not at the cost of sitting at 70 years old to still have student loan debt.
No. And see, that's the exchange that makes me so angry about, and let me just be honest, let me be an equal opportunity offender, folks. Both sides of the political aisle are in the business of student loans. It's big business. It's a lot of money. And no one's talking about legislation or regulation.
To stop it.
To stop it and to take on the unbelievable inflation
this is
in the world of tuition.
Doing a service.
No.
You people in government are not helping.
That's right.
The population. No. You are harming the people that you're called to govern.
It's a hidden tax, Dave.
And people are getting filthy, stinking rich off the backs of people like her. And it really does need to stop. It really. I mean, seriously, would somebody grow a leadership backbone and send it to Washington, D.C.? This is The Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Dr. John Deloney has a brand new book coming out called Building a Non-Anxious Life. You can pre-order the book right now for $20, and you'll get $75 in bonus items. Nearly half the U.S. population says their lives are affected by anxiety, stress, burnout. It's everywhere. But here's the thing. Anxiety isn't actually the problem. It's the symptom. The problem is we're unsafe, disconnected, unhealthy, living like we have no say in what happens next. And in this book, Dr. Deloney walks you through 6 daily choices to recognize and break free from a life that's spinning out of control. It is amazing. This book is selling like hotcakes, too. And it comes out technically October 3rd. If you pre-order, you get $75 in bonus items, which includes instant access to one of Dr. John's newest talks, Smoke, Fire, and Freedom. This is a great talk. And also, you're going to get the ebook and the audiobook. RamseySolutions.com, Building a Non-Anxious Life. Christopher is in Corpus Christi, Texas. Hi, Christopher. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and Ken. Thank you for having me on.
Sure. What's up?
So, to give you a quick backstory. I'm recently engaged. Our wedding is in June. I have a full-time job making $34,000 a year. I also go to school full-time to be a radiology tech. I have no debt, and I have an emergency fund of $20K. Me and my fiance are on the same page about not going into debt for the wedding and not spending more than $5K on our budget for the wedding. I recently made it to step 4, but I'm confused if I should be investing 15% while also saving for our wedding and a down payment on a home.
No, you ought to be saving for the wedding and for your education until you're married. Don't worry about a home and don't worry about retirement right now.
Okay.
You got time to get to both. Right now, you need to get married, pay cash for the wedding, and even if you beef up the budget a little bit, that's okay. Your budget's not out of control on this wedding. And make sure you get through this school and pay cash for all of it. So you need the margin in your life to just be piling up cash right now until June.
Right.
Yeah, let's worry about it, retirement, and worry about buying a house a year or two from now.
Okay, so I should just be saving
for the wedding and for your life. Yeah, just pile up money right now. I want you to get your education finished. I want you to get married. Lower stress on both of these with a big old pile of cash. And then when you get out and the wedding is over, if you've got a little money left over, that's your head start towards your emergency fund and towards your down payment. But you're putting too much pressure on yourself to try to do all these things at once.
Okay.
You got time, man. You got time. How old are you?
I'm 24.
You got plenty of time. You're going to be okay.
Christopher, I can hear your brain. You're processing what Dave's saying, but something's got you hung up. What's going on?
Nothing.
You're just goal oriented.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. But I started school late, so I'm doing my basics right now and my remedial courses. So I feel like I kind of started late in the game.
So you feel like you're behind?
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
You're
not.
You're way ahead because you actually know what you want to do.
That's right.
And you're running down a very clearly defined track. Your plan, you laid it out perfectly in just a few moments on the air here in front of 20 million people. That's impressive. I mean, you really, that's a great job.
Yeah.
You're doing a whole lot better than it feels like you're doing. You're going to get to the other things. I'm not saying don't do them. I'm just saying don't worry about them now. A year from now, 2 years from now. We'll worry about those. Mm-hmm. Right now, pay cash for the wedding, finish your degree, pay cash for that, pile up money. That's all you need to do right now. And that's plenty. It's plenty making $34K. That's a big enough task as it is.
Yeah. You can do it all, but not at the same time. And I think that's pretty much true in any area of life. So you're going to be okay. And give yourself a break. I could feel him beating up on himself a little bit.
I'm behind.
Yeah. No, you'll be okay.
You're not
the
behind.
fact of the matter is, with our plan, you're going to catch up with a lot of people.
Oh, you're probably by March.
Yeah. Right. But you know why? He's a tortoise, and he's focused, and the tortoise always wins that race.
Every time. You're exactly right. Jeremy's in Houston. Hi, Jeremy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Sure. What's up?
Yeah, so my primary question today, and I probably just need to hear you say it, is trying to work out how much house I can really afford. Because when I start to look at the numbers, I begin to feel like maybe I'm going a little bit crazy. And then it just kind of spirals into, should I ever even think about buying a place? Or should I rent forever?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a false narrative. You don't have to rent forever. That's not a real option. You know that.
That's just drama queen.
Right.
Well, no, so I don't mean to sound dramatic. Actually, I don't necessarily.
No, but I mean, that happens. We have a little drama. All of us
thing.
have a little drama queen in our head. And when you spiral out like that, that's the little drama queen in your head. I mean, you know you're not going to rent forever. And you know that's dumb because rent goes up every year. So renting is a good short-term plan, but it's not a good long-term plan. You already knew that, right?
I sort of knew that, but I didn't actually feel that renting was necessarily. I don't mean it in a negative connotation.
Oh, it's negative. It's not a good idea long term. I'll give it to you negative. Here's why it's negative. It's not because it's a class status thing. It's because your cost of housing goes up every year. For 45 or 50 years, you're going to pay more every single year if you rent, and that's a death knell to your finances. Versus if you own, the value of the home is going up, and if you're making a payment on a fixed rate 15-year that we tell you to do, the payment is locked in. The only reason it would change is taxes and insurance, but it won't change otherwise. And so you've locked in the largest line item in your budget, which is housing, and it's going up in value. versus nothing is going up in value when you're renting long term, and your rent goes up every stinking year. The largest line item in your budget takes up more of your money every year. So you don't want to do that long term, but you may want to do it for a year or two while you get some other things done, like getting out of debt and getting your emergency fund in place. And then let me just tell you, one of the things you experience when you learn to live debt-free is that you are living like no one else so that later you can live and give like no one else. And when you live within a reasonable budget on housing, there's going to be people around you that are buying a nicer house on a 30-year adjustable rate mortgage, maxing themselves out where they can't breathe, and they're taking on a house payment that is crazy as a percentage of their income. And they don't make any more than you make, and it looks like they're winning. They're not winning. They're destroying themselves. And meanwhile, you're over here in a much more modest property feeling like you're losing. And the reality is you're winning. Does any of that sound right?
No, it does sound right. And the numbers make me feel a little bit crazy because I feel like I earn a pretty good living.
What do you earn?
In my situation, I make after taxes about $140,000. After taxes, after 401k, about $140,000 a year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we say put a 15-year fixed rate, no more than a fourth of your take-home pay, and that's not counting 401k. That's just taxes coming out of your take-home pay. So what's your take-home pay, not counting 401k, and a 15-year fixed rate? Interest rates are higher now than they were this time last year, obviously. That's the bad news. The good news is that there's a shortage of housing, so we're still seeing house prices go up. But you can find a house. You probably can get a seller to give you some attention right now. Inventory is really low, but which is holding the prices up. But but if you can find a house, if you're out of debt and you have your emergency fund, you have a good down payment, you're going to buy something more conservative than your peers. No question about it.
Yeah. But again, it's the long game.
That's the definition of winning, is don't follow your broke friends.
Right. It's not how fast you come out of the gate, it's how you finish. And got to remember that. It's so enticing.
You're not making $500 a year, you're making $140 a year. I mean, it's a lot of money. It's double the household income average, but it's only double. It's not 4X and it's not 6X. So, average house price in your area, plus a little, that's what you're going to be getting. This is The Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Nick and Laura are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. Where do you guys live?
San Bernardino, California.
Oh, fun. Welcome to Nashville. And here to do a debt-free scream, how much have you paid off?
$223,000.
I love it. Wow. And how long did that take?
99 months.
99 months.
Long
Look
time.
at you. And your range of income during that 99 months?
We started at $71,000 and ended at $195,000.
Very cool. What do y'all do for a living?
Well, I am a homeschool mom, and I also do real estate on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And I work for the county, local government there.
Okay, very good. Well, you guys are doing well. So 99 months, 223. Is this your house?
This is everything, Dave, 1 to 7.
Paid off the house?
Everything.
Yeah, everything.
Looking at weird people.
Yep.
I mean, you live in freaking San Bernardino, California, and have a paid-for house.
Yes, we do.
This is a big deal. What's this house worth?
Little over $600,000.
I bet it is. I love it. Congratulations. Ding, ding. How much you guys got in your investments for retirement and so forth?
We have about 150 in Roths and about 200 in a pension.
All right. So that puts you at millionaire status, doesn't it?
Gotta be close.
Right there.
Baby steps millionaires, right on the line anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Really close. If we throw in the furniture, we're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
There's not much furniture, Dave.
Way to go, guys. Congratulations. How old are you?
42.
42
Both
years.
42.
42 and a paid-for house and basically baby steps millionaires. I'm so proud of y'all.
Thank you.
Tell us the story. What happened 99 months ago? How'd you get connected with this Ramsey stuff?
Well, I listened to you when I was younger, probably when we were both younger, Dave. And I was doing good, and we were moving in the right direction. I worked for a bank, and we went south. We went on the borrowing trend, and we borrowed everything we could. Wood-burning stoves, credit cards, everything else you can do. Somewhere along the lines, we just started going negative every month. Every month we were losing money. We were just not saving. We were just going red. Until one day I realized I couldn't put gas in my car without putting on a credit card. Felt like a loser. Felt like a pretty bad father because we had just had 2 beautiful girls, and I kind of remembered everything I listened to on the radio. Went back and restarted in our mid-30s, and then we suffered a lot over the last 8 years, and here we are. So.
So, Laura, he walks in and goes, this isn't working. What'd you say?
I said, okay, well, how do we fix it? And he said, oh, well, there's this Dave Ramsey guy, and he has this plan, and we're going to have to cut everything. I'm going to sell my dream truck. And I said, ooh, hard pass. I don't think so. That sounds terrible, actually. You know, I had 2 babies, and I didn't want to do it, but I wanted to support my husband, and so I did it for about 9 months without my heart in it. But I did it, to the letter. And then one day we were sitting at the dining room table, and we paid off our car. And I looked up and I said, oh my gosh, this could work. This is amazing.
Ding, light comes on.
It came on, and I started listening to the show, and, it was game on from there. My heart was in it, and then it was different, from then on.
Yeah, wow. So you took 9 months of you kind of dragging her along, huh?
Yeah.
And then she goes, okay, wait a minute. Dadgum, this stuff is, okay.
There might be something here.
Nick, I picked up on the word suffering, which
it was a little bit sarcastic, but yeah.
Yeah, but I think there's probably a lot of truth to that, and I want people to hear
it's not easy
how difficult this was for you guys, but how it feels on the other side. So give us a little window into what suffering, even sarcastically, meant.
Well, I always joke that Dave Ramsey ruined my life.
Yeah, there's a whole internet channel on that.
But the truth is, I mean, you're going to see your friends. They're going to be buying trucks, and they're going to be driving side by sides down the road, and they're going to be having a lot of fun. And there's going to be a time where you have to suck it up, and you have to say, "I'm going to get some," and I'm going to say no. I think for your normal working family, you have to pay a price. If you just wander through, you'll wander right into debt, just like all the Joneses, and you'll be comparing yourself. So I think there's just a time where you have to have discipline, and you have to say, hey, this is hard, but it's the best thing for my future, for my girls, for the rest of my life. And so that's where your temporary pleasures, I think we had to put aside for a minute, and we had to focus on our goal, which took a long time. It took 8 years.
So what's the dream now? 42, and you guys are debt-free, house and everything. Well, how does that change your vision?
Well, our first dream was to come to Nashville to
check it off the box, baby.
You're
there. You're there.
One down.
Yeah. So
next dream.
Yeah, I watched a lot of Debt-Free Screams, and I always thought if we make it, we're going.
Yeah, I like it. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah,
I'm so proud of y'all.
It's a good deal. So,
what is the next big thing?
Yeah.
For me, the next big thing is to set up my girls for success, in just a better platform to build off of than I had. I'm from a single wide trailer, even though it's in California. And I just want better for them. So for me, the future is trying to build for them, and then us enjoying our lives a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And really being an opportunity to give and affect people in a better way.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
I guess, Dave, there's probably a nice truck in the future, though.
I would hope.
I think he's earned it.
Yeah.
Maybe a side-by-side. He's a millionaire.
Yeah,
He's 42.
why not?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Come on, pay cash for it. Get you a toy. Yeah, that's good. That y'all should. You should enjoy some of this, and you should give some of it, and you should use some of it for investing and building up the future and changing your family tree, and you will. So very, very well done. Very proud of y'all. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
I think that it's avoiding lifestyle creep. That was something that I feel that we did really well over the 8 years. You know, Nick had a lot of promotions and a lot of pay raises. I had a few commission checks come in, and they pretty much went all to the mortgage. And that was hard. When you see other people.
It's unrewarding.
It's very unrewarding. And it's hard after a while, and you just say, oh, I just want to do X, Y, Z, whatever it is. And we just didn't. We just kept saying no. You know, we want to pay a price to win. And over the course of the 8 years, we spent the first 4 years in baby steps 1 through 5. And, you know, 3, 4, 5 felt like it took a really long time to get through. We really just kind of crawled through those. And those were, you know, hard, slow years. And then we paid off 180 in the last 4 years.
Whoa.
So it really kind of picked up at the end.
Yeah.
And that's
well,
when
your income changed during that time.
The income changed. Everything changed. We were working together. And the snowball really got going.
Yeah.
It was really neat to see that.
Way to go, you guys.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks. We did a tracking process as well. We kind of bought these hurricane lamps, and we put some smooth stones in them. Each stone was $500. So at the end of the budget meeting at the end of the month, we would, you know, see how much we could put in towards it, and we would bring the girls in, and we'd each put a rock in, and sometimes we only put 2, and sometimes we put 15.
Yeah,
you know,
you go.
But it was something that we brought them in for, and we would talk about, you know, why are we even doing this, and what is debt, and why is this important, and so
bring them up. Let's introduce them. What are their names and ages?
So I got 2 of them here. Oldest is Sabrina. Youngest is Cassidy.
Great. Hey, we've got the Live and Give box for you, the Baby Steps Millionaires book, which is what you've done. Congratulations. The Total Money Makeover book and a Financial Peace University membership for you to either enjoy or give any of it. Just our way of saying thanks for you to come, and people buy that and give that stuff away all the time. So thank you, guys. So very proud of you. Nick and Laura, Sabrina and Cassidy, San Bernardino, California. $223,000 paid off in 99 months, making 71 to 195. Baby Steps Millionaires at 42. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yeah! Oh, you gotta love it. Man, oh, man. Those little girls have a mom and daddy that changed their lives.
Yeah.
Well done. That's grown-up stuff there, boys and girls. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 12:15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice. Tommy Lasorda says the only problem with success is that it does not teach you how to deal with failure. Joe is with us. Joe is in Cincinnati. Hi, Joe. How are you?
I am fantastic.
How can we help?
All right. Now I've got a question. I've been pretty intently saving to buy a new Bronco, even selling my early Bronco. And through my intensity and focus, I've actually saved up enough to pay off my home. And now I'm struggling. Do I continue on with my plan to buy my Bronco or pay off my house?
Wow, that's cool. Those Broncos are cool. So what do you make?
About $150.
What's the Bronco cost?
It's $56.
Okay. And you can pay off your house
I'm a car guy.
You can pay off your house
I'm a car
for $56.
guy, and I've got a couple other ones. Yes.
You have a couple of other cars?
Yeah, I've got an old classic from my father-in-law, and then early Bronco that I've also had for about 35 years. That the value has increased on it also.
Oh yeah, those things are through the roof. Yeah, that's fun. Well, it's a simple question that you have to answer for yourself. I don't think anyone else can answer it for you. What do you want more, a new Bronco or a paid-off house? And I'm the other side of all of that. Let me just tell you this too. It's not a permanent choice. It's which one do you want first?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if you buy the paid-off Bronco, then your next goal is you're going to pay off the house, and you make good money, and you're going to pay it off fairly quick, right?
Yes.
Or if you pay off the house, you don't have a house payment, and now we can save like crazy and buy a new Bronco. So, I mean, my guess is that 2 years from today, you've accomplished both goals. Agreed?
Yes.
So just which one do you want for the next 2 years? Because the other one's going to wait 18 months to 2 years.
Yeah, I'm also struggling because I've drove junk for years, and even a free car to keep it going just so I can do something. I'm struggling thinking of spending that much money on a vehicle now. It's always what I thought I wanted. And when it comes down to letting it go for that, I don't know.
You're not getting rid of the other two classics, right?
No.
Okay, good.
I was going to say, I love the old Bronco more than the new one, but this is your money.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't make the trade. I'd keep those two and then add the new one to the mix. The new one's a cool car. It's a neat car.
Are you driving something that you're not proud of right now? Is that why
he's driving one of those classics, aren't you?
No, right now I'm driving about a $8,000 car. I upgraded last year from my freebie junker. So I upgraded. In the meantime, to save up for a Bronco, I've just been able to save up sooner than I thought.
What's the balance on your house exactly?
$72,000.
And you have 56 in the Bronco account, or what?
Just in my general savings, we actually have about I think 70 liquid right now, not counting our emergency fund.
What's in the emergency fund?
We keep about 20 in there, and it's normally low, but I'm retired military, so I've got a pension, pretty good pension that comes in monthly. So,
I love the car. I love the Bronco. I think they're cool cars. I don't own one of them, but I think they're a very cool car. I can understand where you're coming from. Having said that, I personally would wait 18 months to buy the new Bronco, and I would pay off my house. But the point is, you're going to do both within 24 months. And you need to have a game plan to do that. It's just a matter of which one goes first. That's the only choice we're making. We're not making a choice of Bronco versus house. We're making a choice of which one comes first in the 24-month calendar. And that helps me.
Good.
That helps me make the decision to do the house. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then you're going to feel a little wiser spending this much on a car than you feel right now. You feel like you're overdoing it a little bit right now because that house is still dangling out there. And if you do the house first and the Bronco second, the Bronco's not going to come with as much guilt.
Yeah. And if that older Bronco is pretty slick, I'd get rid of the $8,000 car, sell it, drive the sweet Bronco around if you want to upgrade. You've worked hard. I get what he's saying. He's like, I've been driving crap for so long, and now I kind of want to drive something nice. But I'm with you. That house is going up in value. The Bronco he buys will not.
No, it's not. I know the old one did, but you're not going to keep this one 45 years.
That's
it's
right.
not going to be
correct.
the thing. So, and it's not $1,800, which is what you paid for the other ones.
Right, exactly right.
Back in the day,
Isn't
or
that
whatever
crazy?
Whatever it was.
I would be driving that old Bronco around. If it
I
were
don't
me.
know. It depends on, you don't want to mess it up. You don't put miles on it.
Yeah, I get it.
Not a daily driver. Joe's in Cincinnati. Hey, Joe, what's up? Oh, that's what. Wait a minute. That's
we went back to Joe.
I screwed up. Yeah. Hi, Joe. Thanks, guys. All right. Brian is in Los Angeles. Let's try that. Hey, Brian, how are you?
Hello, sir. I'm doing great. Thank you for the time to be on here today. I've been a big listener to you guys for a while now, and because of you, I got out of debt a couple of years ago.
Thanks.
But my question today is I'm married. I have 2 boys. We live in Los Angeles County, and my question is we make a good income here, and however, we're very unsatisfied with the quality of life here, just school values, the crime, the homelessness, and all in all, just the unchristian society. So we're considering relocating to another state, such as either Tennessee or Idaho or a few others. The issue is that my projected income would probably be cut close to being in half.
Why? What do you do?
So I'm a police officer in LA County, and with overtime, I usually bring around 140 to 150 a year. And the same salary in those areas are a good bit less, maybe like 60% of that.
Yeah,
and
but you can also, you're comparing overtime to no overtime also.
Yep.
It's not half, but it is in your field. It is substantially less. Yeah.
But it's also worth just kicking the tires in other states. You know, what would an Atlanta metro situation? That's not the greatest thing in the world, but the cost of living would be less than LA. Look at multiple states in a region to kind of see what your opportunities are.
How long have you been on the force?
That's another thing. 12 years. So
Does that qualify you for moving into like a highway patrol role in one of the states? Because those do pay a lot more than the states you're talking about.
I would likely be able to go into any type of law enforcement field in any other state, but just comparing it to California, it truly is a significant.
Not necessarily.
How much research have you done on this? And I'm going to tell you why. I covered this story recently. The Fraternal Order of Police, they are having a hard time recruiting police officers. You understand why. I don't need to get into that. And there's a great opportunity right now for you with 12 years of experience in Los Angeles County. I think you need to do more research and see what your opportunities for transfer would look like and then growth. And Dave makes a very good point.
There may even be some signing bonuses available.
Yeah, and moving into a state police role in another region of the country could be really lucrative.
And that would not necessarily be a pay cut then. Yeah, I mean, you move into a Bureau of Investigation in one of the states, like Tennessee TBI or something like that.
But I would get out. That's the heart of his question. I would get out. If I felt the way that you set it up to Dave and I would get out.
Yeah, I think you're moving, but I think you've got to do a little bit more work on the career side so that it isn't as big a cut as you perceive it to be.
That's correct.
Because what you're outlining at first blush is true. I mean, if you compare it to an outlying county or something like that in a Texas, a Tennessee, or Florida, whatever, you might see that bigger cut. But there's ways to get into a metro situation. There's ways to get into state situations, and with your experience, you might move up several pay levels in one of those states and actually come out fairly close. And there's overtime available everywhere in your world.
Tell you what, high school football games and church on Sunday morning.
Yeah, everywhere.
Police everywhere.
Yeah, hey, man, we appreciate you. Stay safe out there. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today.